Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the March 20 Suburban Improvement District number 1 meeting. Could we start the meeting with just a moment of silence, please? Thank you very much. Our first order of business is to actually open the meeting with property owners' comments limited to 3 minutes. If you would please state your name and your address before you start talking so we can capture that. I'd appreciate it. So would our individual who's collecting that information. Thank you, David. Are there any early property owner comments?
You may hold on.
Thank you so much. That really makes it easy for me as the chairman. Let's go to the second one. Let's say unfinished business. We have a budget approval. Now, Betsy, once it gets approved, this should be on the website for everybody to evaluate as a property owner, correct?
Yes, sir. I thought we had approved this, and when we went back and listened to the recordings of the meeting, we talked about it and then moved on and talked about something else. So we just need to have that final approval.
That's the same thing I came up with when I was watching it. I'm thinking, man, oh man, we got excited again.
Yes,
Could we have a discussion on this, Susan?
No, sir.
Joe?
No, sir.
David?
No.
Mr. Stallsmith is vacationing in Branson, so I'm going to vote for Mr. Stallsmith. We don't have any additional comments. So could we please have a motion to approve the budget?
I make a motion, we accept the budget of 2023 as printed.
I second.
Motion's been made by Mr. Kaiser to approve the 2023 operating budget, seconded by Mr. Neagle. Susan?
Yes.
Is approved. Joe?
Yes.
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Tony? Yes. Okay. Budget approved. Thank you very much, guys.
Can he be voting for Tony?
We're going to add a couple of golf carts to the existing lease that we have. That number ranged between 7 and 10, and I think it finalized, was it finalized at 7?
No, 10 is what the
10,
actual
okay.
lease is what we had set it up for.
I knew I got confused because I haven't been able to play golf because I've been doing SID stuff. So let's have a motion either to approve the golf cart lease, please.
I make a motion we approve the lease.
Motion's been made by Mr. Neagle.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Kaiser. Any discussion?
No.
No discussion. I died. There's no discussion. We'll ask. Did it go back? Hey, it's back on. Hey, you know, some days I really like.
There's some extras just in case.
Mike will tell you that.
I've got extra batteries if it happens.
Could we then, any discussion for the golf cart lease?
No. No, sir.
Let's have a motion to approve. Seconded. Susan, you're good with
Good.
that?
Yeah, we're good.
Joe?
Yes.
Yes.
David? Tony? Yes. Golf cart lease is approved. There's a lot of work going on at Base Heart, and if you're not familiar with the campground, it's actually looking pretty good. At one point we had one reasonable 50 amp service, and I believe now we're going to be up to 14.
We'll have 15. There was one there, we added 7, and then this time if we can approve another 7, we'll be at 15.
That's in preparation for, hopefully people will come and rent locations, and that'll give them all kinds of service that they've needed for quite some time. I don't think there's any motion, it's just information about Bayside. Susan, do you have any other information?
We're ready for a motion. We talked about this previously. We had the quotes, the 34,000, which included increasing that 400 amp service to hold the additional 7 pieces. 10 weeks out on purchasing the actual towers. We did that the last time. We paid $261 a tower. They're about 10 weeks to come in, and then we would have the electricians come in and set that up. So
I think that's probably why I already thought we were done with that and it was moving forward, because I've actually seen some activity out there with people in their tents. And
we had a couple of tents come in. We've got our picnic tables. We went and purchased lumber and were able to build 8-foot picnic tables for less than $100 versus purchasing them. So on our rainy days, we've been down there trying to make sure every side will have a picnic table, every side will have a fire ring, and then we'll have the 50, 30, 20 amps at 15 sites. So that's the goal, is to try to make those improvements to get to that for this year.
And I do know that a group of individuals who we had approved before to work on a trail down by the river had worked on the trail as well to improve the area around Bayside. It really does give people things to do. And we hope that people are able to utilize that to its maximum this summer. Now, we need a motion to approve this. Somebody make a motion, please.
I'll make a motion, we approve that electrical engineering feat at the campground.
Motion's been made by Mr. Kaiser to improve the Bayside electrical connections and locations. There's a second by Mr. Neal. All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Mr. Stallsmith voted for it too, because I'm pretending to be him. So we'll go forward with that. So that is approved.
I would like to make a motion, we could make a amendment to our unfinished business, because it was not put on here that we need to approve our last meeting's minutes. It's not on the agenda. I just noticed that.
Wow.
You are correct.
Oops.
Man, y'all don't let me go on vacation anymore.
That we approve our minutes from February 20th.
Amend the agenda.
We're going to amend the agenda to add, approve the minutes from the February 20th meeting. Motion's been made by Mr. Neal. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Kaiser. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All in favor? Let's just carry it and move it forward. And thank you, David, for those.
All right, so now do we need to approve the agenda?
Yeah. Yes.
Oops.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes of the February 20th meeting.
And that motion's been made, Mr. Neal.
Oh. No,
We've already voted on that.
Approve the agenda. Approve the agenda.
I slept last night and I'm not sure it was enough.
Okay, we approved the agenda, now you're approving the minute, approving the minutes.
The minutes approved for February the 20th. Motion's been made by Mr. Neal. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Kaiser. Any discussion? No discussion?
Well, yes, on unfinished business B, what is the legal name of the Model Airplane Club? I've driven by it and I meant to look.
Just hand it out on the end of those.
I meant to look, I think it's called the Spring River Radio Controlled Model Club, but it probably needs to be on the lease correctly, and I meant to write it down. Anybody know what the legal name of the...
Is it not on the lease?
Well, I didn't have a copy of the lease when I was doing these minutes, and that's...
All right, the lease, Spring River Model Club is what it's called. That's the leasee's name. I actually have the copy of the lease.
Okay, then if we're all good with this, we don't need to change it, but, okay, all right.
Okay?
Yes, sir, sorry to bother you.
She's handing out some agendas if anybody would like one. I'm sorry I didn't have them on the table.
Motion's on the floor to approve the minutes from the February 20th meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Tony's really in favor. And forgive me, my sense of humor, I went to Walmart and bought something today. Because I needed it. That concludes signature cards for our certificate of deposit, which allows us to actually earn some money against the money that people have prepaid for their assessment, if I'm understanding that correctly.
Yes, sir, and we approved it at the last meeting. It was at 3.5%, and by the time we got our documents signed to them, it was at 3.75%.
Sweet.
So we had a little slight increase there, but everything's in place, and y'all signed those cards for me.
You know you're leaving well when your microphone continues to fail.
This one up here is Mr. Blake.
That should conclude our unfinished business. Let's move to new business. And is Miss Laura here?
Walking in the door.
Walking in the door.
You're up. Okay, these are no good. I'll put them in my pocket.
The bad ones?
The bad ones.
Okay.
I went ahead and printed these out again, just to make sure you guys have the information that I had emailed.
Or is this the same thing that you sent us already?
Yes, it's just so you have it on hand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to, first of all, say that I was removed from the last month's agenda. I didn't just not show up. So I wanted to address that. And secondly, this isn't a proposal for me or my entity to purchase lots. I am proposing to help you list them and sell them and market them. So that SID, that you can take it off your hands. That's the purpose of this. And it is also one first point out too that it's not just for me to sell or my company to sell. It will go on the MLS for any realtor to sell, any real estate agent to sell. It's available for them to sell it, and the listing agreement that I also sent you shows that we would split our commission as we customarily do on any house or property for sale.
Laura, at one point in your actual document, you talk about being an exclusive realtor, and that one was something that kind of concerned me in particular, because there are other realtors in the area that also have approached, even though they're not here, they haven't made a proposal. That language probably would need to be removed from my perspective.
Well, there's certain things I can't change in that document. It's printed by the lawyer through the Arkansas Realtors Association. But what the name of the document is called exclusive right to sell. That means I'm the only one that has the right to sell that property, to put it on the MLS. I have your permission to advertise it. It doesn't mean anyone else can't sell it. Anyone can bring a buyer. It just means I have the exclusive right to list it for sale. Otherwise, I can't put it on the MLS. That's the MLS rules.
And your thought was a certain number of lots that you would list based on our request. Versus the lots that we know, there are over 7,000 lots that we still need to understand. And what I have in my hands here is a list of several thousand lots that was part of the foreclosure And then I have another list that went to the Commissioner of State Lands. It showed that we had 500 lots, of which 320 were owned by SID and 186 plus or minus 5 were controlled by the American Land Company. And that concerned me as well.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a number in mind. Like I said, this is just my offer to help you. It's whatever you want me to do. You can give me all of them. You can give me 5 of them. It doesn't matter. If you want to get another proposal from another company, this was just my proposal. I can't tell you what another broker would do. I can only say what my brokerage is willing to do, and that's what my proposal is.
I appreciate that very much because I'm such a novice. I bought 4 houses in my total lifetime and I'm 68. So I'm not sure that makes me an expert, except going to people like you, so.
Right, and that's really what we want to do. Like I said, we want to be able to handle the details for you and advise you on the real estate transaction so that all you have to do is sign a deed. But the biggest part of this is that it has to be a special warranty deed, not a quick claim deed. And so I don't know if that means that you have to pay all the taxes before we can list them for sale. That may be what it means. I don't know. That would be a question for the title company. Right, or however the assessor said it was done before, so that it can be an actual deed, so they're actually all mean something. Because that quick claim deed, in my mind, I would never buy something with a quick claim deed. To me, it was just a piece of paper. I can't do anything with that land.
Yes, ma'am. That makes sense to me, having purchased land here, and it wasn't a quick claim because of the title search to make sure
right.
It was free and clear and that it could actually be built on.
Right.
Yeah. Mr. Sutton.
The one thing I might add that
Is that Mr. Sutton?
seems to be one of your problems right now is you haven't got anybody to put your arms around all your lots. And so, you can either pick one or multiple realtors. Originally, we talked about multiple realtors. And then we was told every realtor had been contacted, so then we just talked about us because we haven't been contacted. If one does it, then you have a single point of contact that you could feel is responsible for every one of your listings. If you split it up, then you're going to have somebody to figure out how you split it up and what fell through the cracks and what gets listed and what doesn't. I'm just saying that's the difference. We're looking at this much like if I was listing your property, and it's just a one-on-one relationship, and then we're a window that then every realtor can sell them any day of the week off of the MLS, and it'll go nationwide, worldwide, that people can call any day.
Thank you, sir.
I talked with Laura earlier about, this is a question I have for you. Seeing how you're a member of the Tri-County Board of Realtors, is there some way that Sid could do this through the Tri-County Board instead of just going with a single realtor?
I don't think so. I mean, I can remember. Randy Durden's our president right now. I mean, you'd have to talk to him directly and see what the board decided, but I believe we're just a group that comes together to work on certain things. Like I said, each brokerage has to decide how to sell things individually and make agreements with individuals. I don't see how that would work, but that was something we'd have to take before the board to see if they wanted to figure that out.
Okay. It's just a question.
Would you say the president's name again?
Randy Durden.
His last name is?
D-U-R-D-I-N.
Durden. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We sure appreciate you coming to us. And as soon as we think this through as a commission, we certainly will contact you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mama. Is Mr. Ritter in?
Oh, that's right.
Sorry, Mark. I should have recognized you. I apologize.
Okay, but before you start talking, do we need to do anything with
We
this?
need to discuss this, or, because next meeting it has to be voted on, right?
Well,
I didn't think so, but if you would like to have a discussion on whether or not we're going to move forward already with the Ozark Gateway Realty proposal.
Well, from my point of view, we need to have this kind of conversation with each realtor who has 5 cents worth of interest and come up with something like Laura and Mr. Sackett are talking about that would be fair and equitable to the primary person, and then everybody else get a slice of it, however it gets decided.
But my concern is, and this is when we decided to go to lot sales, is we never thought of multiple lot sales of this a vast amount of numbers that people were talking about. So I think we need to sit down and figure out what our policy is going to be on multiple lot sales.
And I'm with Ron. The terminology of exclusive being law or real estate rule or whatever,
It's kind of off-putting.
that's out of my league. I don't like exclusive anything. I'm a businessman and I sell a lot of products in my store, and I'm not exclusive. Somebody next door could open up and sell.
Realtor on that one lot.
What?
Exclusive for just how many ever lots you give a realtor. They're exclusive. You can have it. Just isn't done here, and I don't see how it could work. You can never say never.
Right.
But there is in other states, there is such a thing as non-exclusive, but then no one's in charge. If you got an exclusive relationship, you have somebody in charge. But if you have a non-exclusive, you've got 5 people that are working independently and they can do different prices and you can lose control.
That's why I got confused, and when I attempted to discuss it with a real estate attorney in particular in Batesville, he even confused me further.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of thought, well, we're going to listen and at least keep it on the agenda. But I appreciate you bringing that up, Susan, Joe, and David, and Tony. Because we do want to sell our lots and have people come in so that they're actually building on them and enjoying the amenities that we have in Cherokee Village and the surrounding community. That's who we work for, you all. So we want to see that. All right, I apologize.
Just before, okay, so we don't need to do anything to this and we can just keep it on the agenda until we decide something? Because like how many? We
can table it for further
because we need to
discussion.
have some more, I think we need to talk about this.
We've got to have a lot of discussion.
A lot of discussion. I don't want it to fall off the agenda though, because I think it's important.
Well, it's new business, so it has to go to unfinished
It would have
business
to go
next.
month.
Yeah, stay unfinished.
And then we can just keep it under it, and we can just
Right.
forward it and forward it.
Exactly.
Because I know y'all have all had calls about, well, I mean, if I have, I know you have, about, what makes a lot of sales. What is a multiple lot sale? So we got a lot to work with, and I appreciate y'all starting here. We got to do something.
Art, please. Forgive me, I have lost control of what I thought was going to be confusing.
Excuse me. I'm so sorry,
I'm
Mr.
definitely
Page.
through.
My name is Art Ritter. I've been here 20 years. And first of all, I want to apologize to Laura and Dick. Laura is my real estate agent. And I don't mean to be undercutting her program at all. This is an idea that I had, and I wanted to present to you people. We have a supply here of lots. Our demand is low. Is that correct? We're not selling a lot of lots.
Correct.
So
Correct.
our supply is here. You're a businessman. The demand is down here. You've got to get the demand up here to equal out the sale of lots. I use that word sale. That's not going to be my program. I think for every current property owner that is current with their taxes, we should have the ability to give those people a lot and charge them a $100 processing fee that takes care of the deed, the recording, and excess would be for SID office work. But that way, what we're doing here is we have a proven market with current property owners that have paid their taxes. We know they pay their taxes. If they get a lot, they are going to pay their taxes. It's going to be revenue for us. So this market is, the demand is here. We just have to get it moving a little bit, okay? This is an old method that John Cooper did in the 50s and 60s when he went to sports shows in St. Louis and Kansas City. He gave lots away to get people down here. But we want to give lots away to get revenues down here. This is what we need. The lots that we have on our list do us no good. Zero. We've got to have a way of moving those lots and make it easy to get that demand up. Okay, I would suggest that for the first year. The second year, if the first year goes well, open it up to the public. Word's going to travel. They're giving away free lots in Cherokee Village. But we're going to be able to collect fees on those. And that's the important thing. That's the whole objective of this, is getting those lots off our list onto the county records so they're paying fees to us. I appreciate you guys and ladies. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Art. That's why I was talking about the delinquent list for the numbers of properties within Cherokee Village, both Fulton and Sharp counties. And it's incredible. Mr. Sackett, do you have a comment, sir?
Yeah, since he brought up the gift lot, if I may, I'd like to try to define what John Cooper gave away. They were gift lots, and mixed in, we're primarily talking about $2,500 value lots. Unfortunately, mixed into the $2,500 value lots, because they're not assessed exactly correctly, is those gift lots. If a regular lot's this big, a gift lot's this big. They have no value particularly, and you can't build on them without having a series of them.
Thank you, Mr. Sackett. That was my understanding as well, because I know people who have those, and they're really very tiny. And my neighbors have one, and they can't do anything with it. They're not allowed to build anything on it. It's just something they have to maintain, which is really much different than what you were talking about, Art. Forgive me, because you're talking about a full lot that would be available to be sold. And that's something that I believe the commissioners, in conjunction with someone who's smarter than we are, can help us with that. We have another individual who, can we hold our comments, please, until the very end? And please, hold your thoughts. And I know they're important, and I appreciate that. At this point, I believe we've covered Mr. Arts for our commissioners, and thank you, sir. And we'll go to the next item, and we'll table this one for future discussion, Art, with the idea that you further develop your thoughts. I know you've sent at least one email to talk about what you had in mind, and it may be that we have a conversation to really go into depth to define that. That's reasonable to you, sir. At this point, would we entertain ALC's offer? Jonathan?
I don't have anything to add. If you've got questions, I submitted my offer, resubmitted the offer to you. If you've got questions, I'm happy to try to answer those, or if you've got general questions, I'm happy to try to answer that.
I do not have any particular questions. Anyone on the commission have any questions?
No,
Jonathan?
Mr. Page, you mentioned something about American Lane Company. What was your specific question or comment about American Lane Company?
The last auction I went to showed 186 lots that had been turned in that were identified to ALC.
Are you talking about the last summer?
The one in August, yes. Because I sat through those auctions, and not a single one were even talked about. And then I had an individual come to me that said he was interested in purchasing a lot that was controlled by ALC, and that individual was going to go through another realtor, and it turned ugly. So I'm a little concerned about that, Jonathan.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We'll have to take that offline then.
Yeah, because when you make a comment like that in a public setting,
Well, it was made to me in a public setting, and so I promised him I would also let you know that it was something that you controlled 1,000 lots.
just let me clarify something, Mr. Page. Since you're making this comment in a public meeting about me and the American Land Company.
American Land Company, not specifically about you, Jonathan.
Well, you said me and American Land Company, and it's one and the same. So let me just address, if you're talking about the Sharp County auction that was held by the commissioner last summer, there was a couple that showed up wanting to purchase a lot that was going through your SID foreclosure. And the way that that works, has worked for years, is that when that auction happens, a person can't bid on a single lot because the SID sets those in bulk. And what we were explaining to that couple then, who didn't like the answer, but it was just the fact, is that if once the foreclosure was finished, SID would end up with that lot. And that couple, if they wanted to, could go to SID, at that time American Land Company, because we still had a contract, and they could purchase that lot. They wanted to purchase it right then and there. And the commissioner of that sale, which is the county clerk, didn't allow that because that's not the way it's done. They were not happy about that. I know they went on to social media and were not happy about it, but that's just the process. It's not because of what we did or said, it's just the process that's been done for years and the way that the county handles those auctions. So I think that's what you're speaking about. And anytime you have a question like that, you don't have to bring it up in public necessarily. If you've got a specific question, you can call me, you can refer something to me, and I can educate you or anyone about the specifics of a situation like that, which didn't have to do with American Land Company denying anybody of anything. It was just simply a process that the county does when you foreclose on lots in bulk.
That's very similar to what was described to me, Jonathan. Thank you for clarifying that. And again, if you're offended, I apologize to you for bringing it up. But I did promise the individual that I would bring it up in our meeting.
Yeah. Well, let me just say, Mr. Page, to you and to the commission is, we get our name, American Land Companies, right through the coals constantly. I don't go on social media, so I don't see these things. I don't have time for groups that don't know what they're talking about, who talk negatively about me, my family, or American Land Company. But anytime that any of you want to know facts about how this works, we have 20 years experience. We know more about lots than anybody in this village. And we don't have a contract with you anymore, but we're happy to share the knowledge that we have. Because I can tell you, over 20 years, the problem that you're facing or that we're facing with lots has not happened in the last year or two. It preceded American Land Company 30 years ago, before there was ever American Land Company. So we understand selling lots today, whether Ozark Gateway does it or King Roads does it, there's a bigger issue with lots. And to understand it, you have to take the time to understand lots. Not just, oh, we need to market or give them away or sell them. It's more complicated. And at any time, we have a body of experience and knowledge. And we'll share that to the extent that we can. But just to say, people get on to me because we don't defend ourselves, because people talk negatively about us all the time. I don't do that because I don't have time. We're busy. But I'm just saying, in a meeting like today, when you reference and you make it sound like we've done something nefarious or that we've done something wrong, I just want to we'll address any issue or question, but I'm not going to sit in a public meeting and have people talk negatively about us without the facts.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you have any questions about the offer?
I don't think we're ready to do anything except put it into unfinished business.
Okay, thank you.
Again, I will apologize to the group here, but I did promise the individual that I would bring it up in this meeting after they spent several hours with me and they were teaching me new words. Some of them were four letters.
I would think, just my opinion on this is that we need to, this would need to fall under what Mr. Nebel was talking about coming together about a proposal for groups of lots. And this is, that would have to be organized in the meeting of minds amongst commissioners and otherwise before these multi-lot deals can take place or even really be voted on. I would think. I may be wrong. Isn't that what you were talking about, David?
Yes.
Getting a plan. Once we have that plan, and it may take lots of information before we're ready to do that.
That's true. That's why I've been talking to several attorneys who talk about their expertise in selling property, and all it really did was confuse me pretty severely. So I'm trying to work through that. And the law. The rule of law is the most important when what's the benefit for Cherokee Village people is the direction that this team is headed, in spite of what maybe had transpired just a few minutes ago. That concludes our new business. This time I will ask Ms. Watt to give us an update on what you've been doing that we haven't been tracking very well for us. Thank you, Betsy.
Today, the pool company from Missouri has started their step or their first leg of the pool renovations at Thunderbird Pool. Since our last meeting, we've been able to finish all of the concrete works, all of the decks have been busted out. Luckily, we didn't find any surprises or bodies underneath there with plumbing or other concerns that we thought we might have. The next step, of course, is going to be the pool company arrived today. They'll start the sandblasting and preparing the surface, getting all the old paint and stuff off. Our guys are going to drop in the 8 new skimmers. The pool guys will be back in about 10 days to install the tile. And then we'll be ready for our next set, which would be the coping on the concrete, and then the deck. We have set our date to be finalized with the pool as the 15th of April, just to give us plenty of time to come in behind them, get the fences put back in, get everything set up and ready. As of today, I would say we are right on schedule with that date, weather permitting, and we've given ourselves 7 days of rain in that window. So I think that we'll be right on time to have our portion done and everything ready by the 15th of April. When the pool guys come back for their final finish on the inside, they said that would take them about 4 working days. And once they were finished, it'll settle or set for about 48 hours, and then we'll start putting water in. So still in our timeline, we will have water holding in the pool by May 1st. So Memorial Day weekend will be open. It'll look great. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, that nothing happens. We are going to be able to do everything we had said within our budget and the 10% contingency.
Now, can we add a little bit to that, maybe?
Can we what?
We need to check the access to the bathrooms from the pool.
Okay.
I believe that's been done, but when I was there, it looked like it was going to be an issue for people who might have a disability, or they might need another rail or something to help them get in and out.
Well, I think what happened years ago is they added that handicap ramp on the far end of the pool closest to the spillway, and of course that came up with the deck, but it will go right back down with the new deck. And unfortunately, it is a long route. It is behind the lower building and then back down to get to the bathrooms. But I don't know how you would ever be able to get a ramp that anyone would be able to push a chair up with the depth of those steps that go from the pool house down to the pool deck. I think that long route is the best route that they were able to do. But they will relay the ADA section, the ramp at the bottom that was inside the pool area.
And we're going to put great big red lines saying, please use this. Because that's the only complaint that I've heard from some of the people who slipped trying to get to the bathrooms because they didn't
go all the way around.
Right, just a thought.
We'll make sure and paint it up. We talked about doing some bigger handrails. They had used just little pipe like you would run conduit or wire in, so we're going to make those a little more substantial, and I think that it'll be a good improvement, and it'll make everybody accessible.
Thank you.
The next thing on the agenda for an update for me is the 2023 assessment corrections. I personally, our SID office and myself take responsibility for billing our gift lots and 5 reserved subdivisions for assessments this year. It was a mistake that was caught once the billing went out. Unfortunately, I was on vacation when that happened. And since then, we have submitted all of the parcel numbers and the information to the assessor's office so that those corrections can be made. I understand this is things that happen sometimes. They'll send out the a corrected assessment letter. As soon as I know when that's happened, I will put it out there so everyone will know. But I just wanted to make sure that we've received phone calls. We just want to make sure everyone knows we're aware of the mistake, and we are going to work with the assessor's office to have that mistake corrected.
Both Fulton and Sharp County, correct?
Yes, yes. Much fewer lots in Fulton than, of course, in Sharp, but it's the gift lots that was brought up earlier, and then the 5 subdivisions that are the reserved subdivisions.
And the townhouses?
Los Indios, Faust Townhomes, Cherokee Acres, something Oaks. I couldn't tell you which 5 they are, but it's the 5 regular reserve that have been reserved for all these years. I pull that data, or I pay a company that I pull that data from. It's called Apprentice. They're out of Jonesboro. They go into a system. They pull all that information for us. I go through and scrub and wash, and we took off our people that had prepaid their assessments. We had to take those off of it. It was a mistake. It was a clerical mistake. It wasn't something intentional, but we've caught it. We will get it corrected, and it won't happen again. It won't happen again.
Yep.
The next thing is a positive thing that we want to talk about, make sure everyone's aware of, and I don't know how many golfers we have in the room, but we are going to have the Cherokee Village Property Owners Golf Tournament return this year. It'll be our first tournament that we'll have here at the North Golf Course. It'll be on the 22nd of April. We'll have a 9 o'clock start time. It's a 4-man scramble. It's $45 a person. So if you're a golfer, that's extremely inexpensive, but that's why we did it. It is just for property owners. There will be nobody else that will be included. This will not be a tournament that is a profit for SID, but all money will be put into the tournament in prizes, cash prizes, lunch, breakfast, and a bunch of raffle stuff. So it should be a great time for all of our property owners to kind of come back together and be able to enjoy the course and have a nice meal together. We have sign-up registration forms in both of the pro shops or golf shops. We have them at the SID office. It's listed online. You can print them off. You can call us and sign up and pay for it over the phone. We're going to have a limit of 36 teams, so don't wait till the end and not be able to get your team in. But we're really excited. That should be a lot of fun. Something good to do again. The last thing that I had on my list was setting the buoys at the lakes. Our lake safety boats won't look quite like pirate ships this year. We've done a little bit of cleanup on them to get our bimini's back up and in place and things working better. We're going to have the buoys have been moved around, of course, from the weather and different people moving stuff around. We've got the GPS coordinates. We'll get all of that done, and lake safety will be back on the lake on the 1st of April. I also want to say we had a tough year last summer with, our property owners and rules on the lake, and I know that our commissioners have made a lot of steps in making sure that we've got new bylaws on the lakes, and yet I have already received complaints about property owners on the lake in their boats without their boat stickers. I don't know how our board is going to address this. I addressed it last year and that didn't go very well, but we have to do something. And so I think that that's a discussion that maybe we bring back to business on our next agenda. But I mean, I'm getting emails, I'm getting phone calls. They're reporting people and kids back on the lake after dark, no lights. So I just want to make sure everybody knows that's happening again. That's all I had on my update.
Thank you. At this point, that completes our agenda. Open it up to property owners for comments. Please again state your name and your address. Yes, sir. 3 minutes, please.
Yeah, my name's...
Will you come to the microphone? I didn't mention this, Ron.
Ron.
My name's Steve Munch.
Your name is what, sir?
Steve Munch, M-U-N-C, 1137 Wyandotte Drive. One of the comments about this free lots or whatever. I used to live in Bella Vista for about 11 years. And what they did, basically, they sold lots like 1 by 1 foot and for the amenities. People bought into that, and I think they had like $100 fee or something. I can't remember what it is. Don't quote me on that. And also there was other lots that were not buildable that people bought for the same purpose, for the amenities, for the golf, the swimming, and all that. So that's what people did when they came from out of state, came down to visit. They had property right, or they had property there, so they could get in and use those amenities. So another thing, the Bella Vista POA, they have a POA there. They sold lots that were delinquent on taxes, and they sold them through the courthouse. And they sold them for $500 a piece. So that was the latest one. They sold them for $250 for a while, and they raised it to $500. So that's another avenue. They sold them publicly at the courthouse, I guess. And they just put them in on a website, and Bella Vista website, and they listed the properties, and there was no taxes on them because they had already been, what are they called?
Assessments?
Yeah, there are no taxes on them because they were in arrears and they'd gone through the process of getting rid of the taxes. So that's how they bought the lots there. And they still do that, but I think the fee's a little bit higher now. So it may have gone up to $1,000 now for those type of lots. So anyway, that's all I have.
Thank you, sir.
We need to move the microphone closer.
Any other property owners like to make a comment?
Hi, I'm Kathy Ingalls. I also came here from Bella Vista.
And your location?
I'm at 19 Ontario Lane.
Thank you.
for by Omaha Center. Am I not speaking into this? Good enough?
Maybe it needs to fold forward some.
Oh, and maybe put your feet. I don't want to trip over it.
Stand here for the camera.
Oh, there you go.
All right, yeah, what Bella Vista was doing was selling what they called membership lots. So they'd just be too skinny to build on. And they separated most of the houses, keeping things real private. And that was kind of the design that Cooper did. It was a pretty good design, you know. You had neighbors, but you just really didn't see each other's business that way. It was kind of nice.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of rumblings about you guys not wanting to do anything with Omaha Pool. And I just want to say this, when you start thinking like that, yeah, watch the time. We have 2 counties in Cherokee Village. We've got Sharp County and we've got Fulton County. And in each county we have a golf course and we have a pool. And I think Cooper set that up to be equitable for the property owners in each county. And I think it would be very detrimental to the property owners' property values if you were to continue to let Omaha go to waste. That's what I have to say.
1 second. You mentioned that you had 2 rumors that the commissioners were not going to address the Omaha pool. And that concerns me, because I
had heard rumblings that just weren't going to fix it. We're not going to rebuild the pool there.
I don't know where that's coming from, because as the chairman, that is certainly not our direction.
Good. That's good to hear. I don't want to see Omaha Center being and everything else that Sid has being given to the city. I think that's really the wrong way to go. I think the suburban improvement district is very important. It keeps our lakes exclusive. It keeps riffraff out. You have the opportunity to put photo IDs and have card-carrying members, and people that don't belong here, don't live here, can't just come into any park and decide to have a kegger. We don't have the issues of the people drive-buying and just casing areas for theft as easily. It doesn't occur as easily in a private community. So I think SID serves a very important function in distinguishing what this community is. Not just a retirement community. I don't think that's the point or the function of a suburban improvement district, but it's to make a unique and maybe a higher class area to live. That's why I moved here. That's what I thought this was. And when I start to hear that people want to take that apart, that's really scary. And the other thing on social media is, well, then they want to count if they're going to take out Omaha pools, then they want to count of how many people actually use the golf courses. So, you know, just keep that in mind. And I've always said the last 25 years of who used Omaha Center is really what's going to count, because it did go down. And I think, you know, you're pretty aware of the fact that Thunderbird was starting to crumble and people were wearing their tennis shoes in the pool. And so those things do make the difference of what people decide to do with their day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kathy?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I can speak for all the commissioners here.
Okay.
We just finished our first year, and we are trying to get stuff up that's been neglected for 20 years.
I know, it has been.
Omaha Pool is on our mind. We have to come up with a way to finance it. That is our big problem. So there's none of us, and I can say that, none of us have ever said we want to do away with Omaha pools.
Okay.
Good.
We're just trying to get our feet on the ground and get running.
I guess I need to get an email out to you. I'd like to have a workshop then on putting up a mini drive-in theater over there, because I think it would be very cost effective to do. and it would help.
Does she
raise
get
money
3 more
for-
minutes?
If you
Thank you.
would, just send a note, we'll get that on the agenda for next time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
That'd be fun.
Property owner comments? Mike, I know you well now.
I'm not gonna say anything bad.
Don't close the Omaha Center.
I'm not. Like Conley, I live and work. I live on the Winnebago Circle. When you're putting your ideas together for the lots to sell in groups, my son's a realtor with Colwell Banker, and he brought up an idea, how about actually combining and making acreage and selling it as acreage, if possible. Because he said that a lot of his clients that he deals with, they're looking for acreage to buy. So that might be one thing to look at when you're putting that together. And secondly, when you get these offers like the ALC offer, can you publicize that? I mean, it's an offer, you guys haven't decided on it, so we as the property owners have an idea what's going on as well. Because I know the last offer, it wasn't publicized, social media was the one that put it out there. We don't know if it's true or not, but I don't know if you can actually publicize it on the website and say this is the offer that we got from ALC, so we can actually contact you guys and give you our 2 cents, you know, on offers. I don't know if that's doable.
Perhaps, but once it's been decided by the commission.
Well, we would know though that it's not decided yet, like in tabling, but this way we would know. You know, because if you come up with an offer from like what I heard, 25 grand for 1,000 lots, well, what about the $90,000 you're going to lose in SID assessment? You know, we can give you some informed decisions too.
As I stated on the 6th of March, that was never going to happen.
No, I know, but it was never publicized other than what we got from social media that I don't know where it came from. So, but if it came from you guys, then we know it's legit. So it's just something to say.
It was a FOIA. Yeah, it was a FOIA
Our
request.
problem, we have looked at multiple lot selling, making acreage and stuff, but because the way everything has been done legally, trying to redo the subdivisions is going to be a mess.
Yeah, it was just
I know, we thought of it too.
Yeah, if you know, buying a couple acres would be a lot more enticing than buying 1 or 2 lots. So, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
This is for short people. Penny Trumpy, and I live on San Alfonso. Just because of some of the questions on exclusive rights.
Where do you live, Penny?
San Ildefonso.
San?
Ildefonso.
It's a mouthful.
Okay. I got it here phonetically. Thanks, Penny.
First of all, I encourage you, I was a realtor for 23 years. I know of these people, but I'm not here to endorse them, but just maybe to help clarify a few things. I did not bring my license because I chose not to bring them. But when you Google what an exclusive right to sell is, it is a legal contract. Basically says that I, as a realtor, my company has the right to sell your property and to represent you so that I control what is said about you, how your property is advertised. Also, it has to do with the commission, because if I'm going to pay to advertise to do whatever, then that's in the contract. And you don't have somebody else over here saying, but I can sell that to you and I can cut the commission and I can do this, things that you don't know about. That's the legalese on that. So when they were talking about that, I do understand that. And to have the representation is what you need to have. And if you talk to an attorney, make sure you talk to a real estate attorney. Big difference.
That has been the joy, trying to find one that speaks a language that I understand as a smart individual, but...
The second thing is, in talking with Jonathan, the last 15 years of my real estate career, I did bank repos for over 25 different banks. It's a total different language, and as I said, it's the government and the banks are the only one that can change the rules every day. So unless you know what you're doing with them, that changes from day to day and different banks to banks. And that just comes from experience and doing that. And
that was basically one reason why I didn't bring my license with me, is because I didn't want to continue doing it. But that's just so that hopefully that helps you, but Google it and it will explain your exclusive agency, but it is benefit you not.
Thank you, Penny. Any other property owners?
I'm not putting it up, you can.
Ed Soja, 72 Bohema. Now, I understand the difficulty of adding the lots together to make acreage, because I've talked to the county about that, and you have to get everyone in the subdivision to agree, but there's probably subdivisions out in Fulton County that you own all the lots, so you would agree. So those would be doable, I would think.
You have to resurvey.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take
Okay,
Well,
hang on.
wait.
It has to be resurveyed.
Okay, Mr. Soja, okay, Fulton County, right?
I'm in Charlotte.
Okay. But you're talking about Fulton County subdivisions?
Right.
Okay.
And you just have to get it resurveyed, and you can resurvey it to whatever size lot you want, if you owned all the lots.
You know, those are great ideas, thank you, sir, I appreciate that. And we certainly have looked into it to some degree to try to find some horse paths, if you will, in Fulton County that encompass multiple lots, and that's not been possible yet. There's some other activities that people have approached me, and I've sat and listened to them and talked to them and looked at different properties, and I appreciate you bringing that to the attention of our commission. Any other individuals?
My name's Wayne Lindstrom. I live in 48 Flathead, Cherokee Village. You guys know me as the owner of the Flathead Custom Stock Shop. So I'm not sure, I'm out of order and it's not related to this, but I submitted a proposal to all you in regards to Molly Fox, and I just wanted to know if we could maybe get it on the agenda for the next meeting or something to look at. If you guys have any questions in that manner, should be self-explanatory, call me.
Sounds good.
That's the correct process to bring it to us so that we can get it onto the agenda for next meeting in April.
Sounds good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any additional property owners we would like to address the commission? Thank you, Laura.
I just wanted to mention, I kind of forgot one part that I wanted to say, because looking back at my information, it is pretty vague. But I didn't mean for my proposal to be a lot package. I meant it to be individual lots, or however you want to do it. If you want, lots of times, 2 lots side by side will sell better together. But the only reason I said it's the attached list is because I don't have a list of all the lots that SID has available for sale. So, like again, you could list 1 lot with every company and see how it went, or you could pick one, which, as he mentioned, would be preferable, so everybody knows to call that one person when they're asking about a SID lot. It just makes it easier for one person to have a database. But if that's how you wanted to sell them, I've sold multiple lot packages before, but they are rare and hard to do.
Thank you, Laura, I appreciate that. And I know that our SID employees are working to produce a document that allows us to know all of the lots that are available and owned by SID, and it's an enormous issue, which I believe there are realtors who know that information right now and maybe would be able to help.
Right.
So, thank you.
Can I speak on that?
Yes, ma'am.
We do not have the software or the means to provide a detailed list of every lot that would be in the SID's inventory. So that is not something at this time that we are working on. We are working on some software that in the future may be able to help us manage the assessments for each parcel. But that number changes. We get 1,000 deeds every month from Fulton and Sharp County, people selling lots amongst themselves and transferring lots to their family and redeeming lots. So that number moves every single day. There is no way that we will ever be able to provide an actual list that says, here's our lots that we have to sell. I'm sorry, I don't know how else to be able to say that, but that's the facts. No, we can go on AR County data and pull reports and sort things that way. We can go on, Land Commission's website and sort some reports, and tomorrow we can pull those parcels up and something's changed. Someone's redeemed it, it's been sold, it's been transferred. So that is something that our contract with our previous, pretty much our previous real estate person with ALC, they maintained that list. They put that list together because they worked that list. That isn't something that our office has ever been able to have that grasp. So I just want to be honest and have that on record so everybody knows. Okay? I'm sorry.
No, thank you. That's where, when I look at 7,000 lots that are SID, when I look at the different COSL lots that are out there, and I look at the process, I actually start to understand that part from the Commissioner of State Lands, but it's probably very difficult to pick up a particular lot and find out if it's available or not without going to the Arkansas county line, if you will, and looking it up. And even then, it's a little bit confusing, and I'll ask for some help from people for that.
And in our office helps when someone comes to us and says, here's a parcel number, or I live here, y'all own the lot next door to us. We're not in the lot sales business, so we're not saying, look at this subdivision, or here's where we have available lots. Someone brings us a lot, we'll be able to pull that information up, see if it's certified with the state, what's owed on it, where it sits with us, how long it's been since it was foreclosed. Those are all things that we look at when we try to give information out to someone who wants to purchase a SID lot through our office. But we have a stack this big of deeds that we get every month that we go into and manually put into this data entry system that is connected to nothing. It's nothing more than a spreadsheet with a bunch of hand-entered information into it. It's not accurate. But that's what we do. That's what we take is those deeds and we enter it into that system. When we have a new software system, that should change. We'll be able to pull data from the county instead of having to manually enter it. But right now, there is no magic list of every property that SID owns. Even if you sorted it on AR County data, it may say Cherokee Village. It may say CVSID. It may just say SID. I mean, the descriptions that they put in there to even try to sort by is numerous. So please understand, we're not idiots, but we're working with a system that doesn't give us the information that y'all think we should have at a snap. I'm sorry.
And sometimes you go in and it says delinquent, today it says delinquent, tomorrow it says current, and it doesn't tell you how current it is. And part of the problem is from the time that happens until it goes through payment and courthouses and record keeping, it could be 60 or 90 days. So if you tell me you want 29 Tonto Drive and it's available, it may not be really available because there's something in the system from Little Rock to Cherokee Village. And Betsy is, I mean, honest to goodness, y'all, it's not like we're trying to make this hard on everybody. It's just a cumbersome, the kindest word I can think of is a cumbersome process.
And it's time consuming. It is time consuming to do the research. I wish it was just pulling up an address, but it's a lot, block, subdivision. Lots don't have addresses. There's just a whole lot more to it.
And this list just has this the last when we looked at the list and it says like otter. So you have to go to another list and see where on Otter the available are, and then you click on each one and you can maybe figure it out with your GPS where to go and look at it. And like somebody said, you know, some of the lots are this big, this wide, and this long.
It's a challenge.
Yeah, it's a challenge. So y'all appreciate, we, all of us sitting here appreciate the heck out of your continuing patience and light. It's just a mess. I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to make excuses. It's just a mess.
And then you get the gentleman from Florida who speaks Spanish pretty well and broken English, who's asking for Florida for some help for buying a lot in Cherokee Village. And I sent that person to Betsy because, boy, I got confused. So that's with that,
I talked to him too.
if there are no other property owner comments, we'll close that and bring it to executive session.
I do. I need executive session. Should be quick, but I do need it.
Okay.
Okay. Motion.
There won't be anything to vote on afterwards, if that helps anybody. It's just something, employee stuff that we need to talk about.
Okay.
Gotta make a motion to adjourn.
What, make a motion to, I didn't,
Go to executive
Motion
session
to move to executive session.
at 5:10.
okay.
Motion's been made to move to executive session, seconded by Joe Carter. Let's move. Aye.
Before you guys go, I wanted to let you know.
That's for me?
Yes, yes, they sent this from the office, they said to give this to you about the sponsorship.
Just one time I turned the audio off, he said, yeah. Go into executive session.
I will just put in my office there.
If you'll just take that one, you can fill that out and send that back in with the check, or if you're gonna pay cash, just fill it out and attach the cash.
So I'll get with you.
Okay.
That's where we have to get I appreciate that, but I didn't know that. Well, the sign the one there, I just saw the sign pop up on Oh, good. Yes. I'm going to retire that. No, I've been in there. But I never saw it. There was never something going on. I go in every day at 10 a.m. I see you in there. I go in there every day at 10
very expensive still to fill it in. American Oncology they wanted to come to, there's no nice outside space where they could sit and stuff. So they lined it all up, and then we brought in. When you go to Donald's, pretty neat.
All the water slid out, like, congratulations, you're on fire.
So do we need to wait for everybody to come back and make a motion to wait for Betsy to come back?
Then we can make a motion for the golf tournament.
Yeah, if y'all need sign-up sheets. What?
Golf tournament. Last fall.
Did you need me?
Talk about it,
Okay.
Okay, we're all here.
Turn your microphone on. You got it. Okay. 326.
Look at that smile on that little lady.
I know it, we need to give her a microphone.
We've completed our executive session,
I make a motion, we adjourn.
and a motion has been made to adjourn. So, is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Motion's been made to adjourn by David Eagle.
And the next meeting,
seconded by Mr.
is?
All in favor?
And the next meeting
All opposed, same sign?
April meeting is 1, 2, 3, April 17th.
April 17th.
Yes, next meeting.
Y'all have a good afternoon.